I never have taken a performance-enhancing drug. I've never taken HGH. I never took testosterone until very recently for health reasons.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Thad Castle. Yes, many of you... Actually, I don't know. Maybe I'm the... I don't know how popular that show was. I thought it was cool when I was a teenager. I watched it with fucking Thad and Alex Moran going to Blue Mountain State and just, slaying broads and fucking playing football. It seemed like the dream, bro. And, as a teenager, you watch this shit and you think like, wow, that's what university or college life is like. Can't wait. And it's like the most overly exaggerated version of college like ever. It's like American Pie times like 5. So anyways, Alan Ritchson plays Thad Castle. And this is Alan's current physique as of January 15th. And for anyone asking, no, he hasn't done steroids and he never has. If it wasn't fucking obvious, like, come on, you idiot. So anyways, Thad Castle, he has always had a sick physique. This was him back in 2014. Yeah, 2014, looking fucking nuts. Back in the Blue Mountain State days, he's always been in great shape. I don't think I've ever seen the guy out of shape. Obviously, he's a bit more yoked now, but as far back as even the OG BMS days, he was killing it. Here he is. What the fuck is this? Thad Castle workout. Oh, 7-second clip. We can watch this.
Not everyone on this Mountain Goat team has had a smooth year.
The fuck. All right. So he's also been in some other movies. I haven't seen this one. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He plays Raphael. I guess this is like a fucking 3D animation suit thing that like makes the character. But anyways, he's always been cranked. But more recently, in his late 30s, he has transformed and packed on an additional 30 pounds. In a matter of 8 months, apparently. So, again, even further back, apparently this is like a really young shot of him. This is his wife, presumably, and this is the first photo challenge. So this is like, I don't know, the oldest photo she has of him historically. And who knows how old he is here? Like, fuck, teenager potentially, early 20s, I'm not really sure. Maybe 20s, I don't really know. But at the end of the day, this is like... The guy has always been in crazy shape. The guy is just like a genetically blessed fucking, like he literally is like the epitome of what you would think like, wow, this guy's name should be Thad. Now, more recently, he hosted a Ask Me Anything on Reddit about his role in Reacher, which is the new movie he's in. Jack Reacher he's playing, and he's also known as Thad Castle. And in that Ask Me Anything, he talked about his workout routine. He also talks about anabolics. But anyways, this is the time frame in which he gained all this size. He said, I built a modest gym in my house and hit weights 5 days a week for 20 years. I almost never used weights. 20 years. This is no weights, bro. Like, literally no weights. Looking like a fucking specimen. I'm assuming he used weights at this point, but like, damn. Anyways. I almost never used weights. 4 sets of 25 push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and sit-ups always kept me at 205. Weights for 8 months got me to 235. So pretty much like 3.75 pounds per month of lean weight, because the guy did not really gain any fat from what we see in the new picture. Like, has he packed on any noticeable fat to his frame at all? Not really. And we see him in this in the workout video that we'll be watching shortly, and how much of it is, good weight versus bad, because you see in actual real time, not posed and edited. Although I don't think this is edited that significantly. Like, the guy looks like lives up to the fucking hype of the pictures, bro. So anyways, and he asked me anything. He says weights for 8 months got him 30 pounds of lean mass above the 205 he's normally at in his late 30s. I usually eat whatever because I run so much. I clean it up a little when going to camera. This guy says, eat, cleanse, tread hard, Anavar, give up. A classic comment for sure. So here, the caption, to the guys always asking for workout tips, and this is January 15th, by the way. I'm no expert. I'm never where I want to be. I'm grinding it out just like you. Like, can you imagine? I'm never where I want to be. When this is like your baseline, literally doing like 25 push-ups a day. Fuck you, dude. Just kidding, but it's okay. So here he says, I'm grinding it out just like you, but let me simplify it for us. Move something that fatigues your body and heart most days of the week. But here's a fun fact. Hypertrophy and strength training are two different things. Usually they complement each other. High weight, low reps. Think 4 to 6 will increase strength. Some growth in size, hypertrophy will occur, but not as fast as if you did lower weight and higher reps. Think you can't do more reps than 15 and 25 each set for 4 sets. Bodyweight exercises like push-ups, pull-ups, and dips can add plenty of size if you don't have access to a gym. All you really need is you and the discipline to push. To the people that keep asking, no, I don't use steroids and never have. If you know what those do, it's obvious. Just be patient and do the things today the you 10 years from now needed you to do. Right. Don't expect the you 2 months from now to be the you want to be in 10 years. That's all for today. I move from my bed to the couch most days. It fatigues my heart and body. It doesn't, however, leave me looking like the Hulk. So I don't know. Maybe I should try running from the bed to the couch. Damn, brother, looking killer, says Chris Daughtry. That is an OG American Idol contestant. Want to go grab some food and order 17 things off the menu. Flex emoji times fucking 70. Punch your face, diamond. Classic engagement. Amazing shape for a natural. Congratulations, man. Bowing in praise. Thank you. Flex, punch you in the fucking face. Because he's not natural. Read between the lines. He doesn't do steroids, but he is on TRT. But you have admitted doing rabies, so that's okay, right? What the fuck? That's freaking Thad Castle you're talking to. Put some respect on him named Princess. All right, so getting into the this interview, he describes, what went into his transformation, how fast he gained the weight. His diet involves shoveling cookies into his face and still gaining lean weight. Like, yes, this guy grinds it out just like the rest of us, bro. Let's listen.
So you bulked up for this role.
I
quite
did.
a bit.
I did. Yeah. I usually walk around at like 205. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. See you later, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Oh my God.
Because I want to be average. I want to be average. I got to, I'm an actor. I got to be able to play like the dad and doctor and the superhero. Whatever comes. No, but yeah, I put on 30 pounds, which is. Wow. I don't know if have you ever put on 30 pounds?
No.
Have you ever put on 30 pounds of muscle in 8 months? He's like, what the fuck, bro? No. Even when I took copious amounts of steroids, I still didn't do that.
I don't even know if I weigh 30 pounds.
By the way, this guy's name is Derek. Pretty cool.
It's a full-time job to eat enough to put on 30 pounds. I had an assistant who.
By the way, I wasn't saying he took gear. I'm just saying that's what I would have said.
His only job was to bring me food. It was like a conveyor belt of smoothies and protein.
What does that look like? Like as far as like how many times in a day? Like
hundreds,
really?
maybe. But you can get pretty clever with this. I would order the crew like Popeye's chicken sandwiches, cookies, just so I could get the kind of calories I wanted. And it looks like a goodwill gesture.
Derek's like, what the fuck, dude? Like most people, conveyor belt of protein. I ordered Popeye's chicken and cookies, and he's talking about it like it's a normal practice to gain lean mass. Like as if everyone's body just hyper responds like him. And he's just chilling. You're like, what the fuck are you going on about, dude?
Wow.
Man. Leave a dozen of those in my trailer, please. Hashtag that.
Before we go, you support something called the Heart and...
Okay, and that's about it as far as the details. But the most notable thing I want to give mention to the conveyor belt of protein and eating 100 times a day. Like, obviously he's exaggerating. I'm sure he ate like 6, maybe 8 times a day max. But like sneaking in like fucking fried chicken and cookies to get your calories in and then still remaining this fucking lean, dude, while you gain 30 pounds? Like, goddamn, son, that's absurd. Like, obviously no one believes you're natural. But let's continue. Here he goes. Work out to build 30 pounds of action hero muscle. Tell me about it.
Hey, Men's Health, I'm Alan Ritchson, and I'm here to share some of my philosophies about working out.
Jack Reacher.
Zip ties?
Cuffs didn't fit him.
All right, I don't know if this is gonna get copyrighted. I hope not, though.
Reacher now, and I had to put on some size for that, about 30 pounds. And I learned a lot in that process about longevity and working out in a way that prevents injury, but achieves growth. I think for most of us,
When he says longevity, presumably he's talking about joints, I would hope, because it's like, obviously gaining 30 pounds is the antithesis of, when you're 205, gaining an additional 30 pounds of lean mass is like literally the opposite of health.
muscle growth has been the goal. My goal is actually volume. It's not about like punishing ourselves in the gym or taking ourselves to the point of literally destroying our bodies. It's about just consistent, vigorous activity for short, healthy amounts of time. If you don't feel pumped by then, your pulse isn't kicking. First group of exercises that we're gonna do is work in the bis and tris. Everybody's seen this before, but what I like to do is work with the rope for both the top and the bottom. So we're gonna do a tricep pull down superset where we do a pull down into an overhead extension. We're gonna kill the triceps with that. And then we're gonna drop that rope and we're gonna do kind of looks like a hammer curl. And we take that old school model, 15 and 25 reps. And we take that, to failure, right at 25. The last thing we're gonna do is move to the easy bar. We're gonna do those famous 21s. And then we're gonna push that bar up and we're gonna do an extension for the triceps as well with the same bar. We're gonna move right into that. We're supersets on cables, dumbbells, barbells. We're confusing the muscles as much as possible. These 6 sets are killer.
Confuse the muscle, bro. When I hear that, all I think about is this skit that Larry posted. That's fucking funny, dude. Like, how many times have you heard that? Confuse the muscle, as if you're just like gonna shock it into fucking exploding when it was just not responding to weights prior. So anyways, you see the idea. He's like, I don't know, like his workouts look pretty fluff and puff, like honestly, like getting 15 and 25 reps on everything, supersets and shit. Like, I don't know, like the fact that you need almost no rest between what you're doing and the fact that you can hit 25 reps of each exercise. Like, I would imagine a lot of people would think like, maybe you need to fucking, go a bit heavier. But for him, whatever he does is working because the guy's a goddamn bionic fucking android from Dragon Ball Z, obviously. So it doesn't matter. So moving forward to his AMA, where he actually talks about the speculative steroid use and debunking the myths. He's like literally responds in a video about how many people have said he's on steroids basically. And then he goes out and clarifies. Like he's already said many times, I'm natural, I've never used performance enhancing drugs. But in this one, he talks about how frustrating it is that people are not believing him essentially.
But what was interesting to me is that this new audience of Men's Health sort of introduced me to people who may not know me or my career or what I do. They are simply looking for tips and are seeing for the first time who I am and how I look and are reading this headline of how I achieve my size and shape. And it was met with so much speculation and so many allegations of false allegations of me achieving my goals through performance enhancing drugs, steroids, some kind of steroidal stack of some kind, HGH, whatever. It's
some sort of stack. I think I've heard of this terminology before. Stacks of some sort. Yeah, like what do you expect when they post this, dude? Like it's not even as much as, you saying the shit about it and showing up with your physique looking fucking ridiculous. When they post something like gaining 30 pounds of action hero muscle, like obviously you're gonna see the comments are gonna be, this guy juiced, look at his physique. You can't gain that much muscle in that much amount of time. It's impossible. Gear. That's obvious, dude. Like it's not unreasonable to expect that kind of a response, even if you did do it naturally, because it is just for an experienced lifter who already looked like I guess that wasn't you at peak. Like when you already looked like this, to pack on 30 lean pounds and still end up like a fucking reasonably deep 6-pack in like suboptimal lighting conditions, huge as fuck, round muscle bellies, you're in your later 30s now, and you're just like exploding all of a sudden, even though your entire life you've been like, you know, hovering around 205, and it's like, oh, now I just touch weights and I gain 30 lean pounds. Like, I don't, that's why, bro. Like, it's pretty obvious why people would speculate this, and I think it's fair speculation, frankly.
The allegations were simply that it's impossible that anybody, especially at my age, I'm 39, can look the way that I look. And that is a little maddening when you know what you've been through to, in as pure a way as possible, achieve that. I never have taken a performance-enhancing drug. I've never taken HGH. I never took testosterone until very recently for health reasons.
Huh? Let's listen to that again.
Never took testosterone until very recently for health reasons.
So, like, I don't even know if he's aware of like how much his statements kind of like fuck himself over, but when you go out and say, I've never taken anything, I don't do steroids and never have. And if you know what those do, it's obvious. Saying you were totally natural and all you did was fucking touch weights, and now I'm up 30 lean pounds in 8 months and I just eat whatever I want because I run so much and I stay shredded while fucking conveyor belting cookies and fucking fried chicken into my face, and you gain 30 pounds of action hero muscle and you look like absurd at 39 years old when you already looked absurd, but you look even more absurd now. And then to be like, why would you think like, I don't know, like, and then the statement about like, I've never used this, I've never used that, but I literally use that. Like, it's so contradictory.
Achieve that. I never have taken a performance-enhancing drug. I've never taken HGH. I never took testosterone until very recently for health reasons. But I achieved my goal weight of putting 30 pounds on in 8 months to reach 235, which was our goal for Reacher. I was there by day one of camera. I kept that weight the whole time through filming, but it took so much out of me. I mean, I even had, there's this, you see the scar, the big scar across my shoulder. I had to have shoulder surgery. I was a wreck putting that much on. I did it naturally and it tore me apart. And I started really breaking down. By the time we went to picture, I was already a mess. It took a lot out of me. I put the work in. And so to be accused of that is frustrating, but it's also harmful to anybody who looks up to me or looks on that site and sees everybody accusing this person of cheating.
Okay, well, you're not cheating. Like, you're not in a tested sport. Like, this is a totally normal thing that celebrities do to prepare for movies and shit. Like, you're acting like you're new to this. This is this is the fucking norm, unfortunately. And there's nothing wrong with it. So, I don't know. Like, I don't really get what's going on here. He's like, I'm on TRT, but I'm not on test. It's like, this is, what do you think you're injecting into your ass, bro? Perhaps the timelines are a bit skewed here, though. He's basically implying he, like, gained the 30 pounds, lean, all fucking muscle, essentially. Did the role, like, actually filmed, and then it somehow tore his body apart, maintaining that or getting there. Like, you ate cookies and chicken and shit. I'm not saying that's easy to do when you have no appetite because you just burn through it like a fucking furnace and your, metabolism's sick and you're jacked as fuck. But I mean, like, I could understand there's like a whole different realm of suffering here. Like, the guy's talking about suffering to maintain the weight. Like, you're doing 15 to 25 rep workouts. Like, I don't see any sort of difficulty that makes me think the workouts are intensive from like a tearing your body apart standpoint, because this is like the most joint protective, longevity minded kind of exercise you could be doing for weight training. You yourself even said that's the hypertrophy focus of it, is to avoid like, debilitating your fucking body. So I don't know how it would have tore you apart. Like a 15 to 25 rep, like fluff and puff workout, even if it's hard and makes you tired cardiovascular endurance wise, and you're sweating your ass off and you're getting a crazy pump, like, that's not like difficult in my opinion, nor is like shoveling cookies and chicken in your face. So like, I'm not discounting the fact that work went into it and consistency and adherence to it, whilst also like acting and doing all the other shit he's doing, whatever it is. But like, usually when people talk about suffering, they're talking about cutting, like restricting calories to a point that it's making them have brain fog and they can't even perform in their job. They have erectile dysfunction and low test, like all of these different things that come along with severe caloric restriction and deprivation. But he's talking about like a huge surplus, gaining lean 30 pounds, having fluff and puff workouts, and his body got tore apart.
Of needing some kind of a performance enhancement to achieve what I've achieved. And I want those people to know that, no, you can do this. You can do anything you set your mind to. And yes, genetics are definitely a factor and play into how you're going to look. You know, I mean, there are people that have tried to bulk before with me that we just have different DNA. And so it's easier for some than others. It's easier for me. But that's not to say that you still can't have an amazing, you have amazing fitness goals that you earn naturally. And I want people to know that you can do it naturally. I would never.
Yeah, like how many people are gonna look like him naturally? Like he's on TRT right now, so technically he doesn't even look like he does naturally. So it's kind of hard to say. However, is there like a small, like, let's get some more context here, because I think he is doing himself a disservice, because in this AMA in writing, he said this: I hit 235 before going to camera. Almost died during the shoot. Took blood I don't know if he does his own stunts or what. Took a blood panel, went home and realized no testosterone due to extended use of Diclofenac. It's hard to say for some reason. So this is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug for pain, presumably, or swelling, anti-inflammation. So which was taken during production. Like other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs you're probably more familiar with. Ibuprofen, naproxen, shit like that is, you know, NSAIDs is what they're abbreviated as. So this is a less like well-known one, but it's more powerful. So in the literature, apparently it is stronger than, it was more likely to be effective in alleviating pain than celecoxib, never heard of this one, naproxen, and ibuprofen, and similar to etoricoxib. I don't even know how to say it. But you guys are probably familiar with these two at least. At least these are the ones I'm familiar with. So it is more effective at alleviating pain than these two like pretty well-known drugs. And the mechanism of action, you kind of know how non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs work. So this kind of a thing, is it going to debilitate your testosterone levels? And, you know, with chronic use, we'll get into shortly what that might or might not do. But he basically says he had, during production to take swelling down in my shoulder bones because I broke the AC joint at some point fighting or training during the shoot. So obviously he kind of like underplayed that in this video where he basically made it sound like he tore his body apart lifting or something, and like, or eating cookies. It's like, I tore my body apart to get to 235. It's like, no, you tore your body apart fighting when you fucked your shoulder up on the AC joint, bro. Like, you should have just specified that. So anyways, he had surgery after filming to repair it, and then he got on TRT 6 months after hitting his goal weight. So he got to 235, looked like this already, then fucked up his shoulder, took this non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, crushed his test levels, and then got TRT. That's the story. That's the story. But anyways, let's continue. I've never once taken any kind of a performance-enhancing drug, anabolic steroid, or testosterone to achieve my fitness goals. What makes me upset about these allegations is it dissuades people with less experience who may look up to me from ever trying naturally or ever trying at all, because some candy-ass guy who couldn't do it said it's not possible. Genetics play a huge factor in how I can bulk, I admit that, but people have tried to work out with me my entire life, and I've never once ever had someone return for a second day. Like, bro, really? Really? Like, you've never had somebody show up to do 15 to 25 rep fucking hammer curl supersets with fucking overhead tricep extensions? Like, how hard is this workout really? Like, this is not what I define as intensity necessarily. This is what I define as like borderline like cardiovascular work, or just like a fluff and puff workout. So anyways, I'm not saying it's not hard. You know, you have fucking lactic acid build up, it burns, you get a nice little burn, you get a good pump. But I mean, it's not like mentally fucking taxing and like CNS taxing to like go in and do a 25 rep bicep and tricep workout. It's mentally taxing and fucking hard on your body to go in and do like 4 to 6 rep, like, you know, compound lifts and shit. I'm not saying you should do one or the other or anything. I'm just saying that, like, I don't really understand why somebody would not be able to do what his workouts are. He's never once ever had someone return for a second day. That's how hardcore his workouts are. Get off your ass and work like your life depends on it if it matters enough to you to waste time making unfounded allegations of cheating to someone you've never met in person. If you're focused on me and my fitness, you're already a step behind me. To anyone reading this that still has hope, give it your best to see where it lands you. Maybe you can confound people with your grit and unparalleled work ethic too. Comments underneath responding. The guys I know on roids put 30 to 40 pounds on in 8 weeks when they cycle. Anyone accusing you of PEDs because you put on 40 pounds in 8 months has never worked out or taken a protein shake in their life. Jesus, people just want to tear everyone down for fuck's sakes. Let's see. Simping for fake natties. Man, your physique is not the one of someone who's using tests. You were big, but not steroid big. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're not steroid big? What the fuck is steroid big then? Phil Heath? Fuck. Anyways, continued. I have no shame. I admit I'm not as genetically gifted as you. I'm on test plus Anavar, and the size I'm gaining is crazy on a low dose, 250 cc dose as well. Okay, continued. It's hilarious you think 5 pounds of muscle per month is normal or in any way naturally achievable, and 99.9 percentile genetic freak wouldn't gain 40 pounds of muscle in their very first year touching weights. True. I put on 40 pounds of weight my first year training. Of course, maybe 20 pounds is muscle, but the weight went on when I was a teen and went from 95 to 135 pounds, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, obviously not comparable. Dude, an experienced lifter like he is can put on at most 1 pound a month of actual contractile tissue. 40 pounds in 8 months can only be done with juice. I thought he was 205 when he started. I thought it was 30 pounds. Anyway, either way, the guy basically says his time horizon was he got ready for the role, was, peak shape or peak size, gained 30 lean pounds eating, fucking fried chicken and cookies and conveyor belts of protein, doing these like 15 to 25 rep workouts. And in addition to that, he did not get on TRT until after all of this. So he did the whole, transformation, started, fighting on set and shit, hurt his shoulder, got surgery, was put on this non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, which then concurrently crushed his testosterone levels. So like he basically, where was it? Had surgery, gone TRT after hitting goal weight. Yeah, I was trying to find the comment where he said he was on the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug because I saw it somewhere, and then I see there's more comments here, people debating. Like he's like as big or bigger than Chris Hemsworth. Just put it in like peak fucking shape. So like keep that in mind while we're talking about this. This guy says he's a fucking clown. He just admitted to taking TRT, but TRT apparently isn't steroids. Come the fuck on. Even if he was on low as 125 a week, he'd still put on a ton of muscle, and that would keep him in the high optimal but normal range. If he was maintaining 205 doing fucking push-ups, which is a lie, dude has for sure been in the gym. There's no way that his hormonal levels were needing for him to go on TRT. I'm so sick of guys like this. He said he didn't use anything to attain his fitness goals. He used TRT after his testosterone levels dropped below normal at the end of his shoot. He's not that big. He looks ripped as fuck in some scenes, but they probably just starved/dehydrated him to hell for those. I thought he was just conveyor belting cookies 2 seconds ago, bro. Hugh Jackman talked a bit about what he had to do for those shirtless shots. I'm sure he's had plenty of fat before or after the shoot. Hugh Jackman deprived the fuck out of himself from what I remember. Totally different scenario. But we've seen him in the other stuff, and he has always been a lean, ripped guy, just not as big. So I totally buy that he bulked up. Then they did an obscene cut for the shirtless stuff. May not even have been in order. They could have done some of that during the reshoots or something. Okay, I found the part where he talks about the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. I didn't realize it was in the same comment. So I hit 235 before running camera, almost died, took blood panel when we got home, and realized no test due to extended use of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, Diclofenac, because he had swelling in his shoulder bones, that he broke the AC joint fighting or training during the shoot. So Diclofenac, we know, is the more potent non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. In the literature, does it actually disrupt testosterone production? We see data on ibuprofen directly decreases testosterone levels, but the pituitary upregulates production by releasing more LH. Ibuprofen also suppresses testosterone through enzymes, including cytochrome P450 involved in steroid production, blah, blah. So there's not a lot of literature on Diclofenac specifically when it comes to steroidogenesis, but I found this study here, elevated reproductive toxicity effects of Diclofenac after withdrawal, investigation of therapeutic role of melatonin. So a lot of people don't realize the antioxidant effects of melatonin and pro-inflammatory effects of Diclofenac, but getting into this study, they basically showed how melatonin was able to attenuate the reproductive toxicity effects of I can't even fucking say it anymore, Diclofenac. There's also studies on melatonin for like hair loss and stuff too, for things that cause oxidative stress and whatnot. It's kind of interesting. But again, this is a rodent model, so you can't really take this and apply it to humans. But it is interesting because they said compared to diclofenac recovery showed more adverse effects on prolactin, testosterone, LDH, MDA, UA, CRP, semen parameters, blah, blah. Basically, it showed that there was reproductive toxicity effects of it. In essence, it is able to reduce testosterone. Is it going to crush it into the fucking ground, though? No, like this is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. I don't think it's going to inhibit steroidogenesis that significantly to a point where it's going to take a guy who otherwise didn't need TRT and then needs TRT, or you couldn't just come off the drug and after it's cleared your system, recover. You know, like I would think whatever negative feedback is occurring would otherwise the stimulus or, you know, antagonistic activity, whatever it's doing to your HPTA would be removed after discontinuation, and you should indeed recover whatever you had lost if you are a healthy functioning human. So anyways, in this rodent study, they attenuated it by using melatonin. And then here's a study in humans where they have effective diclofenac on plasma levels of immunoreactive prolactin, FSH, LH, thyrotropin, and beta endorphin in humans. So no testosterone levels. However, we can use the gonadotropins as proxies for testosterone production in the intratesticular testosterone production, which is where LH would stimulate the Leydig cells to do so. So if you don't have a reduction in LH, you can pretty much assume that testosterone is probably like similar if it was not reduced. So in here, again, it's only 6 healthy men. This isn't the best sample size, but ultimately this is, one of the only studies I could find. Maybe there are more and I'm just not looking deep enough. But anyway, subjects were given 75 milligrams intramuscularly and 50 milligrams orally at 8 o'clock first day, 5 milligrams orally, 8, 12, 20 second day, additional 50 milligrams orally at 8. Third day, blood samples were collected throughout these 3 days. Diclofenac resulted in a significant and sustained decrease in plasma level of prolactin, which is interesting because this would be, if anything, decrease in prolactin would be helpful, I would think, for testosterone production. The other hormones did not demonstrate significant change following diclofenac administration. These data suggest that administration of a prostaglandin synthesis inhibitor such as diclofenac selectively alters basal pituitary secretion of prolactin in humans without a detectable effect on plasma levels of other pituitary hormones, therefore having no negative impact on gonadotropins and subsequent to that, no reduction in testosterone. If anything, the prolactin being lowered might help. However, this is only 3 days, not chronic use. This guy, who knows how long he was using it. He says he took extended use of it for his shoulder. So, weeks, months, I don't know. But I would not be shocked if there was some validity to what he's saying in terms of it being, suppressive. However, I do not think that this is something that took him from like totally healthy functioning male who can be like a fucking peak human to then like hypogonadal where he needs TRT, and coming off of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug wouldn't bring him back to some like baseline that is supportive of like good health. Like I don't think the diclofenac like fucked up his balls permanently to where he like medically required TRT to then like, thrive and survive. Not that you would die without it, but you know what I mean? Like if you look like fucking this dude, like you're telling me you took this NSAID and then crushed your system so aggressively you had to get on TRT after all of this. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like a weird scenario. And obviously the likelihood is much higher that he was doing shit the entire time, given these statistics. So it's safer to say, I think it's fair to say, TRT was probably at minimum involved throughout the entirety of the process. I don't know. So, like, I don't think many guys are going to think that this was natural. Obviously, there is a tiny chance that it might be, and the story is entirely legit. But I mean, my speculation is he's trying to stretch the truth and, skew the story a bit to then make people not, unmotivated and not willing to try this naturally, because he doesn't want people to think that they need to take gear to achieve their fitness goals, and they wants people to do things naturally, which is totally reasonable, I think. However, I don't think anyone really, well, obviously people believe him. I just mean like I don't necessarily, but it's him blowing up 30 lean pounds like does not mean that you have to fucking take gear, you know? Regardless if you did it naturally or not, it should not be a determining factor on if you expose yourself to some harmful fucking drug that requires a long-term adherence to it if you're willing to manipulate your HPTA significantly. It's not really something you cycle like once in a while and like, you know, once you're off, you're probably never gonna do it again. You just retain everything. Like most people who use this shit are going to end up using it again and probably end up on some sort of blast and cruise model or TRT down the line. And, you know, him having his story, like, and even if he blows up on gear, like this shouldn't be you. Him blowing up for Reacher should not be your green light to then blow up for the fucking beach in summer, you know? Obviously you got to pick your battles, and ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised if he started things off naturally and had a great fucking physique naturally. Like the guy's baseline is absolutely insane. And that's why he looks insane now, even when he gains 30 lean pounds. But again, just be cognizant of your own genetic limitations and do things naturally, you know? Like see where you can get naturally, obviously, and don't let, you know, superhero fucking physiques influence your decision-making process. Ultimately, if you want to do anabolics and you have like a legitimate, you know, like purpose to do it, or you even just want to and you understand the risks, and you've weighed out the ROI for it for your own personal, you know, scenarios and whatnot, like come to these conclusions on your own with high quality medical oversight is my suggestion, rather than being influenced by what, you know, like Thad Castle is doing. So that is the takeaway. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is he natty? Is he not? All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. I almost played that video again by accident. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacementdates.com. Follow me on Instagram, @moreplacementdates. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. Follow me there as well. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My preventative medicine and hormone replacement therapy platform, where you can get connected with high quality medical providers to go over your diagnostics and create an individualized protocol just for you, depending on your needs, whether it requires natural lifestyle interventions, dietary manipulations, sleep hygiene fixes, whatever it is, or actual pharmacology in some cases. We're turnkey, we do it all, and we try to stay on top of all of the cutting edge literature when it comes to endocrinology and pharmacology. And we have self-service labs if you just want to check your biomarkers, see where you're at, see what your status of health is like based on your current diet, your current lifestyle, etc. Diagnostics are crucial in my opinion, regardless if you're natural, if you're on TRT, if you're enhanced, whatever the fuck. Having the more data points, the better for determining your status of health and what changes to make going forward, if any, and for peace of mind. So you can check that out, video description below as well. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas. I designed myself from scratch. I recommend a diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance whilst being mindful of micronutrient intake. This diet does not include shoveling cookies and fried chicken into your face. Instead, it focuses on well-tolerated, easily digestible carbohydrate and protein and fat sources that are conducive to a optimal micronutrient intake profile and overall hormone production, vitality, health, etc. This is not just a diet for guys who are enhanced, obviously. This is like a broad spectrum, like high quality diet model that I would recommend to anyone. Clothing company that sponsors me and anything else I'm associated with, it's all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.